Now, let us look at one of the example from the Indian Space Research Organization related to the mission, vision and objectives. So, with this example, we will get an idea of that what exactly vision could be, how it could be replicated in a mission, and how the objectives could be set. And based on this kind of understanding, we could see the interrelationship between these three parameters that defines the way in which an organization is functioning, and also explicating the purpose for which the organization exists. The vision of ISRO, if we could see, is to harness, sustain and augment space technology for the national development while pursuing space science research and planetary exploration. Now, the important point to understand here is that we have to break it down into some parts to get an idea of the vision of the organization. At one end, they are talking about considering all these matters related to space technology as a matter of national importance and not just this organizational importance. It is like whatever task they will do for the purpose of gaining space technology is very significant for a national development, and it is not just a organizational personal gain. In addition to that, they are also adding to their vision that they will not only be working on just space technology, but their focus will also be on pursuing some kind of space science research and exploration. Thus, we could see that in these three major chunks, we could understand the vision of an organization, the very purpose, and it also helps us to get the idea of the scope of activities. So, vision is something that helps us to understand that what is the scope of activities in which the organization is going to set their mission, and also going to convert them into some objectives so that it can be achieved within a specified time. The first mission of ISRO is to design and the development of the launch vehicles and related technologies for providing access to space. Now, if you will see carefully that the first mission very clearly specify that they are going to launch vehicles and some related technologies for the purpose of providing access to space. Now, obviously, the scope of activity is to do something in the space technology, and to do so, they need certain kind of tools, equipments and certain kind of launch vehicles that will help them to reach out to space and to detect certain kind of significant information. So, one of the mission is to design and develop certain kind of launch vehicles to do the same. Another mission, if you could see, is about designing and development of the satellites and the related technologies for the Earth observation, communication, navigation, meteorology and space science. So, again we could see a blend of the combination of the space technology and space science research, and for that they have to develop certain kind of satellites also for observation and gathering information, plus also how they are going to communicate at that far distance. So, for that reason they also have to design certain kind of satellites. Additionally, the mission is to set up communication program for meeting, telecommunication, television broadcasting and developmental application. So, of course, they also have to speak at many public platforms. They also have to communicate whatever decisions and activities and plans that they are undertaking, because they are all of the national importance and there are a lot of resources which are invested into it, and not just only the investment of resources, but because they are so significant for the purpose of exploration and development as a nation. Moreover, there could be satellite based remote sensing programs for management of natural resources and monitoring of environment using space based imageries. Another mission is to design the space based navigation system, space based application in societal development, research and development in the space science and planetary exploration, promote and authorize private firms to play a key role in the global space markets. So, through these missions, we could see that how beautifully they have explained the vision of the organization. It is like that how they are going to harness and sustain space technology, or what they are going to do to pursue for some kind of space science research, and what kind of step they will take for the purpose of planetary exploration. They need certain vehicles, they need certain kind of satellite system, they have to design certain tools and equipments that will help them to gather certain information, to do certain kind of monitoring of the space research and also around the earth. It is also about developing certain kind of navigating systems, because that is also very important when they will be exploring the trajectory of the space. Moreover, certain kind of research and development investments that they will be making. So we could see a very beautiful breaking down and replication of the vision into the mission of the organization and how much they are interrelated. So it's very significant for us to understand it that the vision and the mission cannot go in different directions. The vision is a direction in which an organization is going to move, while the mission is the replication of the vision, that how the organization is moving in attaining the activities and the purpose of for which the organization exists. Here we could see some of the objectives. One of the objective is the operational flight of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, that is PSLV, Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle GSLV, and Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV. Now this is a kind of a specific vehicle system that they are going to launch at a polar satellite vehicle or a geosynchronous level or a small satellite vehicle. Now this is again reconnected with the mission and the vision, that the vision was to continuously sustain and harness a kind of a space technology, and to do so they have to design certain kind of vehicles. They also have to design certain kind of satellite systems that will help them to achieve that vision. And herein we could see in objectives the specific names of the flights that the organization has designed at the operational level to achieve the mission and vision. Herein again the objectives are very specific. The objectives are clear, and these small objectives are the expression and reflection of the mission and vision, and they all are aligned with each other. So they are all interrelated. They cannot go in different directions. Other objectives we could see that design and developing realization of communication satellites, then certain kind of earth observation satellites. So herein we could see some specific purposes with each of the satellite launch. Moreover, certain kind of navigation satellite systems, some kind of a space science and planetary exploration satellites, and other are certain kind of earth observation applications. Then they are talking about space-based systems for societal applications, some advanced technologies and newer initiatives. Additionally, the purpose was also to sustain the culture of space technology and consider it as a matter of national importance. So, of course, there are certain kind of awareness programs, certain kind of educative programs, certain kind of training programs will also be required to achieve that vision. So we could see some kind of objectives related to the training, capacity building and education. So herein we could see that how the platform is also open not just to develop the vehicles and the tools and equipments, but also to disseminate learning and training so that more and more people could join hands and their energies together for the purpose of achieving this bigger goal. And of course, the technicality of the learning and education is very, very important in this context. So some kind of capacity building programs, not just only for the new people who are joining the organization, but also for the existing people, because they need to develop their skills with the passage of time. So some kind of education awareness camps or certain kind of those initiatives that will serve the bigger vision of the organization. Moreover, promotion of the space technology. Since it is mentioned in the vision itself that it is not just an organizational objective to conduct these activities, but it is a matter of national importance. So certain kind of promotion of such technologies and whatever kind of initiatives and actions that the organization is taking, the promotion is very important. The promotion is for the purpose of connecting with the stakeholders, connecting with the general public at large, letting the government officials, the other organizations, not just within the country but across borders as well. It is like very important to promote such kind of technology, because when you want to really harness a sense of mission into the people, it is very important to promote the achievements in the initiatives, also to communicate it to the stakeholders at large. So that is also included into the missions, because they also have to be established in a specific way so that they can be targeted well and they will be achieved within the time. Moreover, of course, the organization needs a lot of infrastructure and certain kind of development for the space research. They have to keep on improving, not just in terms of the people that they are working with, but also in terms of the infrastructural development. Moreover, some commercial utilization of the products and services that emanates from certain Indian space program. or a certain kind of promotion and authorization of the Indian private firms in space sector. So it is also extending the activities in terms of the stake of the other partners that is coming from the private sector as well. So it just not only give us the direction, as I say, but also keep on reminding the very purpose of the organization for its existence. So it also act as a reminder to the vision and mission of the organization, because it has to be aligned. So the mission, vision and objectives are all aligned together, and they cannot be in different directions. And this is what we learned through this example, that they are all interconnected, and if they are not interconnected, of course the role of management, we could say, somewhere goes missing. So the successful management is all about that when the management people who are involved in devising policies, establishing standard of work, defining tasks and delegating tasks and roles and responsibilities within an organization to the people along with the other resources, they also have to understand and appreciate the fact that why the organization is existing. So the vision and the mission helps us to get an idea of that why organization exists, while objectives help us to get an idea of that what an organization will do to achieve the very purpose of the organization. Now, having understood the relationship between the mission, vision, and objectives, and getting an idea of that how important they are to give a direction for the functioning of an organization, let us also reflect upon the constraint of the factors that affects and influence the decision making of a manager. Now, the internal factors are internal, and within the organization, they influence the decision making directly. There could be various factors which are present within the culture of an organization that act as a hindrance to the decision making, and those constraints are very important to consider upon. For instance, if the rules within an organization are too rigid and there is no scope of flexibility, so the manager will not be in a position to make changes according to the situation and event, because there are many orthodox practices in an organization are coming from past to present, and that kind of practice will curb the ability of manager to think creatively. So the rigidity of the rules and regulations, especially which are the characteristics of bureaucratic organizations, really blocks the flexibility of decision making, and it blocks the creativity of a manager to decide in a situation in a different manner, because the expectation from the manager is to think creatively, but at the same time the conditions and the context in which he has to work and act is rigid. So it will be difficult and act as a barrier for his creativity. Moreover, some of the past practices will also curtail the growth mindset in an organization, because they will be more regressive in nature, but they could not be applied to the changing times. Now, there is a popular quote by Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, which says that do not raise your children in a manner in which you were raised, because you were raised for a different time. So this quote is very aptly defining the issue related to the past practices being continued in an organization and considered them as the best solution because they were successful in the previous times and in the past. Now this legacy cannot be continued in the changing times because the events and the circumstances are different. So the manager's ability to think in a different time, because he is working in the present time in an organization, so the past practices can be good but sometimes cannot always be applied to the situation. So one solution cannot be suitable for all scenarios and all kind of situations, and that has to be understood by the people in an organization. So the kind of autocratic leadership styles are one of the way in which we could see the regressive mindsets, wherein they are resisting change for the purpose of openness and creativity in an organization, which acts as a serious constraint for the people in an organization and the decision making ability and influence the decision making ability of a manager. Moreover, the level of autonomy and the freedom which is given to the people, because the current organizations are working on innovative philosophies. So if there is no openness in the culture, if the creativity is not allowed to prosper, it will be difficult for people to work in the contemporary times. and these could majorly affect the way in which the organizational cultures are changing and transforming. The time span is totally different, and also the environmental conditions are different. Moreover, the rigid cultures will not be more suitable for creativity and innovation in an organization. So the need of the current organizations are different, while the practices and the rules and regulations that were being established in the past when the organizations were being established are different. So many a times these kinds of cultures may become a constraint for the decision making and influence the ability of a manager to decide, and it affects the quality of decisions also. Thus it is very significant for people in an organization, especially the decision makers and the policy makers, to reflect and revisit their practices and culture and the structure design, so that it can meet the requirement of the changing times, and moreover it can reduce the negative impact it is shedding on the managerial decision making ability. Thank you.